everyone. Welcome to week 5 kinesics, or also called paralinguistics or paralanguage. So up until this point, we've been talking a lot about language and the things we say and the effect of how we say things. This week, we're going to be thinking about the way the things we don't say affect our overall message. Okay, so these things are like gestures that I'm making, in addition to eye contact, smiling, personal space is a big one. And so it's just fascinating to think about the non-speech related parts of language, because we do a lot of messaging with our hands. I certainly do, and I'm curious to find out about you and your habits. But it definitely makes a big impact and a difference in the way our message comes across. And we use these differently depending on where we live. So I've included a link here to a really fascinating article and then also a video by The Atlantic on smiling, this famous American wide toothy smile that we're kind of known for throughout the world, because not every other nation has smiling so big and so often as a custom. And they do little research suggesting that it might have to do with our history of inviting immigrants and refugees to our nation and not really being able to speak the languages with them at first, but communicating with smile. Perhaps we could all use a bit more smiling these days. In fact, I've come into the situation that I have a perma smile, so I smile a lot, and I'm often just, walking down the street, not realizing I'm really smiling, because to me, I'm just like, just normal, and the people will all of a sudden flash a big smile at me, and then I realize, oh yeah, they're smiling at me because I'm smiling, but I wasn't really purposefully doing that. A good problem to have, I suppose. Another interesting social experiment that you could try out this week is going up to someone, hopefully someone you know. You don't want to offend someone, but slowly inching closer and closer and closer to that person and seeing if they back away. Usually we have a defined personal space, and people are really sensitive to this. And if you start getting a little too close, they'll just, slowly start backing away. And if there's not space behind them, they might all of a sudden be like, whoa, what's going on here? So that's why you want to do that with someone that you know and explain it to them afterwards. I've also included a little clip of Friends. I don't know how many of you still know Friends. It's kind of a classic. And it has a lot of different clips showing the different facial expressions involved in kinesics, how people are reacting, and how that influences our understanding of things. And in particular, one of my favorites is when Joey is trying to use the air quotes, but he doesn't really get how you use it. And so then he's trying to use it, but he doesn't understand the meaning. And it just kind of shows that breakdown, like, oh, if all of a sudden we are using one of these gestures or a type of facial expression and the other person doesn't really understand that, then we need to fix that, right? We need to initiate a repair, because we use a lot of these as a part of our message, and counting on the fact that other people will understand what we're saying. My daughter, in fact, has tried to use the air quotes. She's seen people doing it, but she's, of course, not using it correctly. She doesn't understand sarcasm yet, so she'll say something like, we're going swimming, but she means we're actually going swimming. She just thinks maybe it's emphasizing something, so it's very cute. Anyways, but I noticed when I was in Brazil, and teaching English, they say stashew, like it's full. It's full in here. Like if you go out to a club, if you're at a party, and it's show, it's huge, full of people. And one a student in my class said, here you might do the same thing and say está hasta así or something like that to say that it's full or it's packed. There's also I don't know if you do this. I remember when I was in Puebla, people would do this to say like, yes, I agree with something. So there's all of these different gestures, different meanings that we have, and we kind of forget. So we'll be challenged this week to really look at it and take a critical eye at analyzing for your assignment. You'll be analyzing two different situations and really looking closely at the ways people are using non-linguistic or paralinguistic communication. So as always, let me know if you have any questions. I'm really looking forward to reading your assignments this week. Make sure you look at all the notes that I put in the rubric, and also inserted comments into your assignments to be helpful. I spent a lot of time on that, so make sure you can take that into account for future assignments and like for the research proposal also as you go about thinking further about how you're going to do your research for your final paper at the end, and we'll be talking more about that. So let me know if you have questions on how to get that too, if you're not able to see your comments from me. All right, have a great week, everyone. Bye.